Welcome to this edition of News Today, a series in which we discuss and briefly analyze the important news of the day. Let's have a look at today's main headlines. DRDO successfully tests the autonomous flying wing technology demonstrator. Maharashtra Legislative Council passed the Maharashtra Lokayukta Bill 2022. Logistics costs in India declined to 7.8 to 8.9% of GDP in the financial year 2021-22. Government has informed the Parliament that over 5 lakh tons of e-waste was collected and processed in 2021-22. A report titled Coal 2023 Analysis and Forecast to 2026 released by the International Energy Agency. National Insurance Academy releases a report titled Enhancing Insurance Inclusivity and Bridging the Protection Gap in India. Starting with today's first news, DRDO successfully tested the autonomous flying wing technology demonstrator. Autonomous flying wing technology demonstrator is an indigenous high-speed flying wing unmanned aerial vehicle. It has a tailless fixed-wing aircraft that houses its payload and fuel in its main wings. It is a scaled-down version of its futuristic unmanned combat aerial vehicle. It is designed and developed by DRDO's Aeronautical Development Establishment. The successful testing is quite significant for India. It will allow takeoff and landing from any runway with surveyed coordinates using GPS-aided Geo-Augmented Navigation or GAGAN. With the test, India has joined the elite club to master the flying wing technology. The technology can also be employed as a covert stealth combat drone. Having said this, drones can play an important role in a country's defense. They can be used for intelligence gathering to identify enemy positions, assess the terrain, and track movements. Drones can also be utilized for precision strikes as they are equipped with precision-guided munitions which can be used to target enemy positions. Further, they can be used in search and rescue operations to locate and rescue personnel in hazardous or inaccessible areas. Moreover, they are faster and easier to deploy as they provide operational flexibility. The Government of India has taken several initiatives to promote drones, like the Drone Shakti scheme for institutionalizing and creating a framework where multiple stakeholders can work together, the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme for drones and drone components, and finally India's Drone Rules 2021 to boost startups and small and medium-sized enterprises. However, there are still some challenges in achieving India's drone potential, like communication gaps between lawmakers and drone makers, dependence on imports for key components and materials required for drones, insufficient research and development, and finally supply-side issues of standardization of component and its mass production. Moving on, the Maharashtra Legislative Council passed the Maharashtra Lokayukta Bill 2022. The bill aims to repeal the Maharashtra Lokayukta and Up-Lokayukta Act of 1971. Maharashtra was the first state to establish Lokayukta in the year 1971, followed by Odisha. In India, Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013 provides for establishing Lokpal at the union level and Lokayukta in states. They are institutions of ombudsman which inquires into allegations of corruption against certain public functionaries. These institutions are based on the Swedish Parliamentary Ombudsman. Despite the enaction of the 2013 Act, the potential of Lokayuktas has not been fully utilized in India. So what challenges do they face? Few states and union territories have not initiated any amendments in their Lokayukta Acts to bring the acts in line with the Act of 2013. This has led to issues like jurisdiction varying from state to state. Also, members are not appointed as per sanction strength, leading to vacancies. Moreover, due to budget constraints, they lack adequate infrastructure to complete the investigation of cases on time. This has enhanced the pendency of cases. Lastly, they lack prosecution powers and suo motu powers. Measures like amending state Lokayukta laws on the line of the 2013 Act and promoting digitization can help in dealing with these challenges. Moving on, logistics costs in India have declined to 7.8 to 8.9% of GDP in financial year 2021-22. National Council of Applied Economic Research and Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade in its report found that logistic costs were reduced due to initiatives taken by India. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade works under the Ministry of Commerce to promote industries, entrepreneurship, and innovation in the country. Now first let's discuss what the term logistics mean and what are the benefits of reducing logistic cost. Logistics refers to the management of supply and transportation to deliver the goods on time and in good shape. Reducing logistic costs can not only enhance the trade competitiveness of a country but also improve supply chain efficiency and promote foreign direct investment. Now the question is, what initiatives were taken in India that helped in reducing logistic cost? Let's take a look at some major initiatives. The National Logistics Policy of 2022 helped in improving export-import logistics and facilitation of development of logistics parks. The Land Port Management System has digitized operations at the integrated checkposts. The National Logistics Portal Marine provides a single window platform for trade processes of logistics sector. Other steps include FASTag-based electronic toll collection, PM Gati Shakti, logistics ease across different states or leads ranking, e-air waybill, and e-cargo. However, there are still some challenges in reducing logistic costs like skewed multimodal mix with roads making up around 60% and railways only around 30% and inadequate warehousing infrastructure. Having said this, the report recommends other measures that are required to make logistics more competitive. These measures include removal of congestion points, modal shift towards rail and waterways, and promoting digitalization to reduce administration and management costs. Moving on to the next news, the government has informed the parliament that over 5 lakh tons of e-waste was collected and processed in the year 2021-22. Based on the information provided by the Central Pollution Control Board, 1.6 million metric tons of e-waste was generated in the year 2021-22. Central Pollution Control Board is a statutory organization under the Water Act of 1974 with the principal mandate of controlling air and water pollution. Now let's take a closer look at e-waste management in India. Let's start with understanding what exactly is e-waste. E-waste refers to all items of electrical and electronic equipment and its parts that have been discarded by its owners as waste without the intent of reuse. India is the third largest electronic waste producer in the world after China and the United States. Now, India faces several challenges in effective e-waste management like lack of private participation in recycling, infrastructure gap between present recycling and the quantum of e-waste, informal nature of the waste management industry, and limited awareness among consumers about proper waste management practices. So why is proper e-waste management considered so important? Well, e-waste is associated with a number of negative impacts. It can be hazardous for human health. For example, its exposure can cause headaches, irritability, nausea, vomiting, and eye pain. Its improper disposal can have negative impacts on the environment as well. E-waste contains over 1,000 toxic materials which can contaminate soil and groundwater. Also, there exist social impacts due to the engagement of child labor in e-waste management and the rising disease burden. Management of e-waste in India is currently carried out under e-waste management rules of 2022. These rules apply to every manufacturer, producer, refurbisher, dismantler, and recycler. The rules also announced a new extended producer responsibility regime. The concept of extended producer responsibility was introduced by e-waste management and handling rules of 2011. In the next news, a report titled Coal 2023 Analysis and Forecast to 2026 was released by the International Energy Agency. Let's take a look at some key findings of the report. The report predicts that the demand for coal will rise in India and China. However, demand will fall in almost all advanced economies in 2023. For example, in European Union and United States, it will drop by around 20%. As per the report, India and Southeast Asia are the only regions where coal consumption is expected to grow significantly by the year 2026. The report highlights the need to transition away from coal. In India, coal accounts for 55% of the country's energy needs. This is mainly due to high coal reserves in India, with India having the fifth largest coal reserves in the world. Immediate transition towards other sources of energy poses a number of challenges for India, such as threat to energy security. Electricity demand is expected to grow in India to fuel its economic growth. Further, rapid transition can also lead to loss of jobs. However, India has been taking many initiatives to improve efficiency of coal usage. Supercritical technology has been made mandatory for ultra-mega power projects. Ministry of Coal has set a target of 100 million ton coal gasification by the year 2030. India is also modernizing its old thermal power plants through measures like installing electrostatic precipitator to capture fly ash and low NOx burners for reducing NOx emissions. Other initiatives include Perform Achieve Trade Scheme, which is implemented by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. In our next news, the National Insurance Academy released a report titled Enhancing Insurance Inclusivity and Bridging the Protection Gap in India. The National Insurance Academy was founded by the Ministry of Finance in 1980 to equip the insurance industry with the best of talents. Let's look at some key findings of the report. As per the report, a 73% health protection gap exists in India. Further, pension coverage lags in India, with just 24% enrolled in the employee retirement schemes. Also, the insured area and sum insured for crop insurance have decreased. The report also highlights challenges like low penetration and density rates in India. Insurance penetration here is the percentage of insurance premiums to the gross domestic product, and insurance density is the ratio of premiums to the population. Also, the report points out deficient rural participation and life insurance skewed focus on urban areas. Further, there are several issues pertaining to crop insurance in India. The government has made crop insurance optional for lonely farmers, leading to non-renewals. Also, some state governments have opted out of the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana scheme, affecting the coverage of crop insurance. To deal with these challenges, the report has also made some recommendations. These include collaboration between the government, NGOs and industry groups to create micro health insurance with simplified products, implementing innovative solutions like waiving GST on premiums for low-income and unorganized sector workers, implementing mandatory natural catastrophe protection covers, and compulsory crop insurance for lonely farmers, supported by premium financing from microfinance institutions. Now, before moving on, let's take a look at some government initiatives that have been taken to promote insurance coverage in India. Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana aims at providing a health cover of Rs 5 lakh. Insurance cover is also provided under PM Suraksha Bima and PM Jeevan Jyoti Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana aims to provide affordable crop insurance. Also, the Union Budget 2021 increased the foreign direct investment limit in insurance from 49% to 74%. Let's have a look at today's place in news, which is Iran with the capital Tehran. Iran is in news because it has decided to unilaterally cancel visa requirements for Indian visitors. The country lies in southwestern Asia. It is bordered by Armenia and Azerbaijan in the north, Turkmenistan in the northeast, Afghanistan and Pakistan in the east, and Iraq and Turkey in the west. It also shares a border with the Caspian Sea in the north and the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman in the south. If we talk about its geographical features, its major mountains are Elburz and Zagros. Its major rivers are Karun, Karkeha and Zayandeh. Its major deserts are Dasht-e-Kavir and Dasht-e-Lut. And its highest point is Mount Damavand. we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways has recently changed the priority order of right of first refusal for the local shipping companies in private tenders. Right of first refusal is a contractual right which gives its holder the preferential option to transact with another contracting party before others can. Government announced to bring Series 3 of Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme. Sovereign gold bonds are government securities and issued under Government Securities Act of 2006. Tax Inspectors Without Borders is a joint initiative of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the United Nations Development Programme. Researchers named a mosasaur found in 2006 as Wakayama soryu, which means blue dragon. Mosasaur is an extinct group of large marine reptiles that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Ola has recently launched the Rithrim, which is a large language model trained specifically for Indian languages. Large language models are deep learning algorithms that can recognize, summarize, translate, predict and generate content using a very large dataset. Securities Appellate Tribunal has quashed SEBI's order of imposing a fine on the National Stock Exchange in the dark fiber case. A dark fiber is an unused optical fiber which is not connected to any active equipment or has no traffic or service running on it. Recently, a death has been reported in Karnataka due to Kyasanur forest disease virus. It is a zoonotic disease and is transmitted through the bite of ticks. A biosimilar is a medicine that is very close in structure and function to a biological medicine. While generic drugs contain the same active ingredients as their brand name counterparts and are usually synthesized from chemicals. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to the test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.